K-Pop Warriors is easily one of the most exciting animated films in recent years, and if you haven't watched it yet, you're seriously missing out on a colorful, emotional, action-packed spectacle. But what most people don't realize is that behind this explosive mix of music, mystery, and energy, there are some fascinating behind-the-scenes details that almost nobody knows, and they completely change the way you see these characters and their stories. Few people know this, but the original script almost featured a completely different scene. In South Korea, there's a traditional event where idols compete against each other in sports like archery and track, kind of like a K-pop Olympics. At first, the creators wanted to include this competition in the movie, but they decided the international audience might not understand the cultural context. So they turned the scene into an autograph signing event instead. What no one expected was the surprise appearance of the Saja Boys, turning the event into a spontaneous joint party with the Huntrix. The result? Total delightful chaos. Screaming fans, tons of music, and zero arrows flying around, at least on stage. Did you know that? Well, get ready to have your mind blown with the rest of these secrets.
Your secret's safe with me.
Before diving into the heroines, let's talk about the Saja Boys, the boy band that stole the spotlight too. Loved by some and criticized by others, they're a key part of the K-Pop Warriors universe. The most interesting detail happens behind the scenes. Although each member has distinct features and styles, they were all modeled from the same 3D body base. That's right, the whole group was born from a single digital model. The only exception is Abby, who got a more muscular build to match his role as the group's protector. The director explained this was intentional, a way to show that even when you start with the same foundation, individuality lives in the details, a different hairstyle, a unique expression, a specific way of dancing. And it's exactly that diversity that makes the Saja Boys win over fans both on and off the screen. Right at the start of the movie, we meet the trio of Huntrix, who combine talent, attitude, and power. There's Rumi, the confident and stylish leader with her signature purple braids, Mira, the bold rebel who breaks every rule and redefines standards, and Zoe, the group's ray of sunshine, sweet offstage and fierce under the spotlight. According to director Maggie Kang, the goal was to create strong women without falling into the sexy heroine cliché. They're not sidekicks, they're hunters, the main protagonists of their own story. Kang also credited designer Helen Chen, who helped shape the characters' looks with authenticity and strength. The result? A trio of warriors who prove you can save the world with courage, confidence, and, why not, high heels. If Rumi is the brains of the Huntrix, then Zoe is their beating heart. She was created to embody joy and light within the group, with a look focused on charm, soft pastel colors, delicate gestures, and that adorable vibe that makes you want to frame her picture. Her energy was inspired by real K-pop idols, known for their cheerful, magical aura. But one of the sweetest details about her design is her smile. The shape of her mouth was literally drawn like a heart. That wasn't random. The creators wanted to visually emphasize Zoe's warmth and charisma, showing how even the smallest details can carry the essence of a true pop star. When creating K-Pop Warriors, the production team immersed themselves so deeply in Korean culture that they decided to include something extra special. Traditional dances. Nothing was thrown in at random. They studied ancient rituals, chants, and choreographies that were once performed to protect entire villages. Long before girl groups existed, Korean women already danced and sang as acts of resistance and spiritual power. These roots inspired the characters' fighting styles and stage performances. Those scenes where Rumi, Mira, and Zoe dance in perfect sync, they're based on a traditional dance where every movement has meaning. The result is a powerful fusion of modern pop and ancient legend, a true tribute to Korean culture that turns every performance into pure magic. When it comes to style, no one comes close to Mira. She's pure elegance and confidence, even when she's facing monsters or dangerous situations. Coming from a strict and traditional family, Mira constantly struggles between what people expect from her and who she truly wants to be. This inner conflict was intentionally written to represent the reality of many people who have to fight to show who they are, even if it means breaking the rules. Every one of her outfits is a masterpiece, blending high-fashion runway looks with symbolic details that reflect her inner strength and free spirit. Mira is the kind of character who inspires without saying a word. Just one look from her eyes is enough to tell you exactly what she's feeling. And of course, the cherry on top, the enigmatic mystery. He's the kind of character everyone wants to understand, but no one can fully figure out. With his purple hair falling across his face and that mysterious aura, he's become one of the hottest topics on social media. According to the creators, his design was inspired by Japanese anime, especially those characters who hide their faces to add a sense of mystery. But there's also a practical reason behind that choice. Animating multiple facial expressions during intense dance scenes would have been a massive challenge for the studio, so covering Mystery's face turned out to be the perfect solution. Still, the question remains, will we ever see who's behind that hair? Or will it be one of those anime endings that leave us forever wondering? Even though the movie's title instantly brings to mind the flashy world of K-pop, director Maggie Kang's original idea was something completely different. She wanted to show the world the beauty and power of Korean culture. And that's how the concept of the Warriors was born. During development, Maggie dove deep into Korean mythology, searching for visual and spiritual elements that felt authentic and unique. That's where ideas like the Han Moon came from, the glowing dome that protects humans from demons, and the ancestral warriors, legendary women who used singing and magic to defend their villages. These details give the story an epic feeling, almost like a mix between a mystical anime and a supernatural musical. And according to the director herself, K-pop only came into the picture at the very end of the creative process, like the cherry on top that gave the film its rhythm and pop identity. Now's the time to do the right thing. So go ahead and click the subscribe button below and give us that extra support so we can keep making awesome videos like this one. One thing's for sure, K-pop Warriors isn't just a movie with a soundtrack. It's practically a full-on animated K-pop concert. Each song was created to tell a different piece of the story, and the result is such a captivating musical performance that you can't help but hum along. Every track was composed and recorded with extreme care. The production team spent years finding the perfect voices, one for speaking and another for singing, until both blended together seamlessly. It was crucial that the characters felt like real idols, performing on stage but also living real emotions behind the scenes. This meticulous work turned the film into a flawless mix of vocal performance, storytelling, and raw emotion. The harmony is so perfect that you forget you're watching animation. It truly feels like a real group performing in front of thousands of screaming fans. Few people know this, but the movie was born from a powerhouse collaboration. While Netflix handled global distribution, Sony Pictures Animation took charge of production. Yes, the very same studio behind Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse. And even coming from a studio famous for its experimental visuals, K-pop Warriors still managed to surprise everyone. This time, the artist stepped away from the hybrid style and went for an anime-inspired aesthetic, with highly stylized CG and vibrant colors that feel like concert lights. The result is a stunning visual experience. A perfect blend of pop brightness, Japanese animation charm, and the spirituality of Korean culture. Every single frame looks like a living painting, filled with texture, sparkle, and detail that showcase the team's incredible dedication. It's the kind of movie that makes you want to pause just to admire each scene. Before being just a visual spectacle, K-pop Warriors is truly a love letter to Korean culture. The movie blends ancient traditions, sacred symbols, and the modern flair of K-pop in a bold and inspiring way. The Huntrix girls, for instance, wield weapons inspired by traditional Korean objects like swords and fans, a direct nod to the mudang, the Korean shamans who use dance and spiritual rituals to connect with the divine. Meanwhile, the Saja boys, the stylish villains of the story, were inspired by the Korean Grim Reaper. But given a glamorous, less gloomy twist, the film also draws from Korean shamanism, featuring dun trees that symbolize the link between heaven and earth, and mischievous creatures that are half spirit, half legend. All of that is fused with the dazzle of K-pop stages and its bright pop aesthetic. The result is a burst of color and meaning, tradition and modernity performing together in perfect harmony. Among all the songs in the movie, one of the most unforgettable is No Mercy, the moment when each Huntrix member reveals her true power. Zoe steals the show with her sharp, high-energy rap, proving that behind her sweet looks hides a fierce fighter ready for anything. Mira dominates the stage as the explosive dancer, moving with unpredictable speed and precision. And Rumi, the strong and soulful leader, delivers an emotional performance that gives chills even to those who don't understand a single word of the lyrics. From a technical standpoint, the song is a masterclass in composition. The fast beat represents the girl's strength and boldness, while Rumi's melodic bridge gives a breather before the explosive climax. Everything was meticulously planned to give the audience goosebumps, and it worked. In an interview with Forbes, director Maggie Kang revealed that the character Jinu, leader of the Saja boys, was inspired by a mix of charming K-drama heartthrobs and the timeless elegance of classic Korean beauty. She and the art team used names like Cha Yun-woo and Nam Joo-hyuk as references on their inspiration boards, searching for that kind of look that makes anyone swoon. The result? Jinu got the dark hair, deep gaze, and mysterious aura that perfectly match his calm yet intense personality. Audiences fell head over heels for him, and not just Rumi within the story. Fans were heartbroken by his fate at the end of the movie and still begged for his return in a potential sequel. Even before the script was finalized, the production team already had something essential: the original songs. Tracks like Lethal were written to set the emotional and energetic tone of the story, but they turned out so good they could easily belong on a real K-pop album. Each song was designed to work both inside and outside the movie, with lyrics, arrangements, and choreography that any real K-pop group would be proud to release. That level of detail made the movie win not only cinema audiences, but also music fans, who added the songs to their playlists and made viral dance videos on TikTok. In other words, K-pop Warriors isn't just a box office hit. It's a hit on streaming platforms, playlists, and in people's hearts. And finally, one of the most impressive aspects of the entire production, the behind-the-scenes work. What looked smooth and perfectly synced on screen required almost superhuman coordination between artists, animators, and musicians. The songs were the beating heart of the film. Without them, nothing else could move forward. But even before the tracks were fully completed, the animation team began working with temporary versions, syncing the characters' movements, expressions, and even the shine in their eyes to the rough rhythm of the songs. It was an insane challenge, but the results speak for themselves. Every scene, every breath, and every dance step is perfectly aligned with the soundtrack. It's the kind of dedication that turns a great animation into an unforgettable experience. Since we know you love videos full of references, details, and Easter eggs, we're leaving 2 really cool ones so you can stay right here with us. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.